When I arrived at the hospital, my legs felt numb, but the sterile brightness pressed down. The echo of rubber-soled shoes bounced off the walls, and the hollow sound of my name rolled off the nurse's lips. "Mr. Hale," she said, voice trembling. "She's in intensive care." Then she leaned in, too close, whispering barely above a breath, "Hide. Trust me. Don't let them see you." I froze. There was fear in her eyes, sharp, urgent, personal, that cut deeper than the beeping machines behind her. I slipped into the next room. The smell of disinfectant burned my thoughts. Through the narrow opening of the door, I saw them. 2 men in suits, not doctors, not family. They weren't here to save anyone. One of them spoke to the nurse, low and controlled. "She awake yet?" She shook her head. No, she might not wake up again. The man smiled, not the kind of smile for mourning. In that instant, my pulse steadied, not from calm, but from recognition. I'd seen that smile before on my wife's lips. I believed the accident was random. A car, a slick road, a late night. But watching those men whisper outside my daughter's room, something in me shifted coldly, efficiently. My wife had said she was visiting her sister that night. She came home shaken, mascara smeared, faint perfume I hadn't bought her. I hadn't questioned it. You don't question people you think you know. You bury unease under the illusion of trust. But the nurse's whisper cracked that illusion. "Hide. Don't let them see you." That wasn't a warning about the hospital. It was a warning about them. When the men left, I moved to the glass wall. My daughter's small body lay tangled in tubes, motionless except for the machine keeping her alive. I pressed my hand to the cold glass. "Who hurt you?" I whispered. Her eyelids didn't move, but the bruises on her wrists answered for her. Over the next week, I became a shadow with purpose. I smiled at my wife when she entered the room, spoke softly, asked nothing. The silence unsettled her. It always does when the guilty wait for noise. While she slept, I went through her phone. Deleted messages still lived in backups. I read them all. A man named Victor. Conversations timed perfectly with my business trips. Hidden calls at 2 a.m. And then photos. A car, my daughter's car seat in the background. She wasn't supposed to be in the car that night. My wife had told me she left her home, but the GPS data said otherwise. I printed the records, stacked them neatly in a plain envelope. Then I sat beside my daughter. "I believe you were never meant to come home," I whispered. The monitors hummed in answer. 3 days later, the police report arrived. The driver wasn't a hit and run. It was someone tailgating her for 10 miles. The car that hit her belonged to Victor, registered under a shell company my wife owned. I didn't need to ask why. I only needed to see her face as I placed a folder on the table. She looked at it, then at me. "What's this?" Calm, measured, I said, "The night you said you were with your sister." Her smile cracked. "You're paranoid again." I said nothing. I opened the folder. She saw the photos first, then the report, then the text, her name linked to his, her signature on the lease, her digital fingerprints on the insurance payout schedule for next week. The sound she made wasn't a cry. It was smaller, a gasp swallowed by realization. I said nothing. Words would have been mercy. I called the detective I had met at the hospital, told him everything, sent the documents. Then I poured 2 glasses of wine, one for me, one for her. She didn't touch hers. "You called them?" she whispered. "Yes." "You'll ruin me." I smiled faintly. "You already did." The sirens came minutes later, first faint, then closer. She backed toward the window, shaking. I walked to the door, paused, and turned once more. "My daughter woke up this morning," I said. She asked where her mother was. I told her she's gone. Her lips parted, but the knock on the door silenced her. I opened it without looking back. Later, the nurse, same one who whispered hide, saw me in the hallway. "She's going to recover," she said softly. "Your daughter's strong." I nodded. Strength isn't born, it's built in silence. That night, I sat by my daughter's bed again. The machines were quieter. Her small hand rested in mine, warm, alive. I thought of the woman who'd once said she loved me, of the moment she decided love was currency, how easily she traded it for control. Outside, I heard the echo of a closing cell door. Metal. Final. I looked at my daughter and said, "It's over." But what I truly meant was, I finally know who I am without her.